Hi, it's Molly from The Inside Voice, and today we're going to talk about vocal myths. The vocal world is rife with myths. For a really, really long time, people sang with no mechanism for knowing what their instruments were actually doing. When you examine a guitar, the strings and all the other parts that make it work are visible. The larynx, on the other hand, is in our throat. So until we used things like X-ray and MRI, singers just relied on sensations and images. As a result, vocal-related old wives' tales got passed from voice teachers to their students, and the tradition continued until we ended up in the year 2021, still believing that your larynx should be low all the time. So let's get to it. Here are some of the myths that grate on me the most. Number 1. You should start with a classical foundation before learning other forms of singing, because if you can sing classical, you can sing anything. Ugh, I hate this myth. A classical foundation is wonderful because classical music is wonderful. Classical voice doesn't need to be a great foundation for pop singing to be valuable in and of itself. But no, classical singing isn't the greatest way to get good at pop singing, or even musical theater singing. If you sing Rolling in the Deep, like, "There's a fire starting in my heart," people will laugh at you. So where did this myth come from? Well, classical singing used to really be the only training you could predictably get from a voice teacher. It was considered by many to be proper singing. I'm certainly not here to disparage it. I just see it for what it is, one of many great ways to sing. There are, of course, crossovers. Classical singing can teach you pitch, posture, and breath control. But there's a lot that's different, too. The lowered larynx, the steady stream of vibrato, and the relatively low transition into head voice, particularly for women, just doesn't sound stylistically appropriate when applied to other genres. Number 2, sing from your diaphragm. Look, every time you breathe, you use your diaphragm, so let's start with that. It's a dome-like sheet of muscle attached to your rib cage that lowers upon inhalation and rises upon exhalation. When you sing and hold back air, your diaphragm stays in a lower position longer. I don't think most people even know what they mean when they say to sing from your diaphragm, but if it means anything that makes sense, it's that. You get a lot of voice teachers instructing singing from your diaphragm by jamming your belly out. This just isn't usually productive. Taking a low breath and then keeping your rib cage open does tend to facilitate keeping your diaphragm in a lower position, so there's some truth in that respect. But in general, sing from your diaphragm should be removed from every voice teacher's vocabulary. For the complete vocal myths video, head over to theinsidevoice.org. See you soon.